My name is Raina LaGrand. I am a therapist in the Ann Arbor and Ypsilanti area, and I specialize in somatic or body-based therapy, particularly for the treatment of trauma and stress. I'm really excited that the School of Music, Theater, and Dance has asked me to create a couple videos for you all. You know, it's been a stressful year, right? A stressful semester, a stressful couple of months or weeks even, from the pandemic to the election to, midterms and starting to think about finals. I know what it's like as a student to have a whole lot going on and not a whole lot of time to really deal with it, or energy or resources to be able to cope with it in a way that actually feels centered and functional, right? So my heart goes out to all of you doing your best to make it through an unprecedented time, an incredibly difficult time. And I just want to start by saying that, because this is such a difficult time, truly on so many levels, I believe that we are unable to function at our best. It's just the truth, yeah? A mentor of mine shared a quote this week, and she didn't know where she heard it, but someone told her, it's not about balance, it's about balancing. We don't balance, right? We are always actively balancing. And that's the spirit that I want to bring into this video for you all today as I walk you through a couple practices about balance. And these practices have been helpful for my clients and students, ones who struggle more with depression or feeling shut down, feeling unmotivated, but also my clients and students who are a little bit more upregulated, hyper aroused, maybe coping with anxiety. And definitely a lot of us are going to kind of experience both of those dynamics, right? Stress is natural, and actually some amount of stress is good because stress helps us recognize what's going on and figure out what we need to do about it. But we might be tempted to think about, let me get rid of all my stress, which isn't always possible, right? It just isn't. And instead, I think it can be really useful to think about, how can I expand my capacity to cope with stress? And how can I feel more sort of flexibility and movement so that when I feel stressed, I can bounce back, right? I think that's really the goal in my work with clients a lot of the time, is flexibility between, oh, okay, stressed, okay, I figure out what to do about it. Okay, feeling shut down, okay, I've done a little something about it. So that we're always working and in conversation with our bodies and our minds and our spirits. So this first set of exercises that I'm going to share with you all are probably going to be more accessible to those who can stand and use their legs, but I'll offer some modifications throughout. And towards the end, I'll offer something that I think everyone will be able to access with ease. All right. So for this video, a couple props you might have on hand are a ball, like tennis ball, lacrosse ball. One of my clients uses her cat's toy ball. That's fine. As well as a book, just this kind of size book, not necessarily a textbook, though I encourage creativity, and a textbook could be fun. You could also, most of us have books, but you can use yoga blocks as well. All right. So again, the spirit, the intention is to be with balancing as a process, an active, ongoing process, rather than seeking balance as a destination, right? Because that just feels pert near impossible right now. So go ahead, and those who can and are watching the video, stand up. Yeah. And I'm gonna shout to make sure you all can hear me. And we're actually just gonna move these items out of the way for a moment. So when we experience stress, it can be difficult to stay in the now, right? We start to anticipate what's going to happen in the future. We might be dwelling on what happened in the past. And that's actually pretty normal for stress and trauma, to take us out of the present moment, right? So just for a moment, first look around your space. Maybe even say out loud to yourself, like, I'm in my bedroom, I'm in my living room. Note the day, the time. Yeah, so right now, for me, Wednesday, November 4th, it's about 11:30 a.m. And I'm in my living room here in Ann Arbor. And then like look around and let yourself orient into the space. Notice the windows and the doors and the walls and whatever else, even though you've been in this space the whole pandemic potentially, just to sort of orient to now. And then coming back to standing, we're gonna kind of work our way up in challenge. And the only rule here is to breathe. Keep breathing and breathe through your nose. Try to keep your mouth closed, breathe in and out through your nose. You're gonna go ahead and stand on one foot and just notice this challenge, right? So we're all gonna be in different spots. This might be challenging to some, right? Some can even bring their hands to a wall or onto a couch or a chair if they need a little bit of balance support. But the goal here is not to balance, it's to be balancing. So if it's available to you, try not to balance. Yeah. Move yourself around a bit on that leg, look around the room, breathe through your nose. Take it through different planes, up, down, move the head to the left, the right, bend the knees, straighten the legs. Yeah. Woo. And then just go ahead and pause for a moment. And just notice what that's like. You might hear my dog grabbing some water right now. So just notice what's changed, what's the same. And I'm gonna move closer to the camera just so I can speak a little more clearly. Yeah, some people here might feel more in their bodies. Some people might feel like brought into the present by that challenge. And if that's not happening for you, then that's no worries. That's just maybe not the right challenge, the right strategy for you. So we're gonna kick it up a notch and see how that goes. All right. So take yourself onto your other foot this time. Here's my dog. She just had surgery, so she's wearing a shirt to cover her scars and prevent her from scratching them. Come on up. Good girl. All right, so let's just make it a little more challenging. So stand on your other foot, maybe just to give this foot a break. And you're gonna bring yourself onto your tippy toes, onto the ball of your foot. Breathe through your nose. Yeah, and then you can move around a little bit more here. Breathe through your nose. It's okay if you fall. You can kind of lower your torso, bring it back up. Yeah, and let's pause for just a moment. What's changed? What's different? What's the same? Do you feel more capable of being here now? And if so, how does that land? What does that feel like? Does that feel good? So we're just using this moment for feedback, just to notice how we're feeling, learning if any of these resources work for us. So the next practice that we're going to do uses the block or book and a ball. And you can try this one seated. If you're in a wheelchair, you might need somebody to grab the ball for you when it falls. So have a buddy nearby if possible. But you can do this seated. And I'm going to demonstrate it standing. So go ahead and stand. Bring the ball onto the block or the book. And the same thing goes here. The only rule is to breathe through your nose and don't hold your breath. Yeah. So you're gonna bring the ball onto your book or your yoga block or your hard surface, whatever it is. And just kind of keep the book under the ball. Right, so if you're seated, this might be your range of motion. You might keep it kind of small. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. If you're standing, you might take it a little bigger. Just moving the ball in the book. Woo. If it falls, no worries, just come back. We're not trying to be perfect here. We're just trying to focus and notice what happens in our bodies when we can focus and be in the now and be breathing in and out through the nose. Whee. Yeah, challenge yourself. Mm-hmm. I totally do the Michigan Midwestern sort of oop when I drop. And then optional challenge, stand on one foot. And just grab it and come back. And you can change your hands if you want this time. You can change which hand the stuff is in. And it's important here that you're holding the book, but you're not gripping it. Yeah. Yeah, that's enough play for now. So just pause. You stay standing for a moment. Notice how you feel. Like some of what is happening here, I think, is our bodies experience the stress of trying to balance, and then we sort of feel ourselves settle back down, right? And we've got that all wrapped in a playful energy so that that stress feels okay, I hope. And our bodies get to learn like stress isn't such a bad thing. And stress ends, right? Stress has like a lifetime to it. And stress like comes and goes. There are fluctuations in what it feels like to be stressed and what it feels like to feel a little more settled. Yeah. So I encourage you to play with these, make them your own, use a textbook, do it outside in the wind, balance a larger ball on a smaller book, right? Balance a teeny tiny ball, see how that changes things, a ping pong ball. Yeah. So I hope that in there, you at the very least felt like, whew, I just got a little break from whatever I was doing. And I hope that at least some of you are feeling like you've got a new resource that you can play with when you might be clinging onto wanting balance or feeling really rigid or feeling like really stuck in the past or anticipating the future. Right? Essentially, when just you're feeling stressed, maybe this can be a way to play with that stress from the outside in, right? Rather than going to the source of the stress, sometimes we have to make the picture a little bigger. I love to hear how people enjoy these practices, so please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is riseeducationandconsulting@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram at riseeducationandconsulting. However, I'm going through a name change, so it's also possible by the time you watch this video that my Instagram handle will be at Root to Rise Somatics, but that riseeducationandconsulting@gmail.com is a great email to reach me at. You can also visit riseeducationandconsulting.com to explore my self-care syllabus. It's a collection of resources related to self-care, community care, healing, and justice. So check that out and let me know what you think.